The Summer Games Minute, brought to you by Mass Mutual. For most professional athletes, versatility means they can play a few different positions in a single sport. For Babe Dietrichson-Zaharias, versatility means dominance across the entire spectrum of sport. In the 1932 Summer Games in Los Angeles, Zaharias won gold in the 80-meter hurdles and the javelin throw, plus she got a silver in the high jump. Running, throwing, jumping wasn't enough for Babe, so she became a competitive billiards player, then jumped into professional golf, winning 10 major championships, all the while making a few pitching appearances in Major League Baseball spring training games. Mass Mutual understands the nuances in how women want and need to manage their finances. With quality product solutions and guidance, a Mass Mutual financial professional can help you plan for both short-term and long-term money goals. Learn more and get started at massmutual.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
The Athletic. For this episode of Toby Talks 2, I'm catching up with Sito Pons. Now, many fans of MotoGP will know Sito as the team boss for as long as I've been involved in the paddock, but many younger fans will not necessarily know he was a two-time 250 champion in 1988 and 89. Sito was awarded the Prince of Asturias Award for Sport in 1990. The year after, Sevi Ballesteros had won it, and a couple of years before, Miguel Indurain, Navratilova, Carl Lewis, Steffi Graf, etc. High praise indeed. So then, let's get straight into it with Sito Pons. Thank you for joining me today. We're here in London, in a wonderful place, a wonderful part of London. How long have you been living here?
Hi, Toby. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you today. I'm here from 2000. In the end 2012, I came to live in London. That's mean almost 11 years already here in London, in Chelsea. That's quite nice area, and I'm really happy to be here.
Nice part of the world, I have to say. 42 years you've spent in a Grand Prix paddock until Valencia just a month ago. Why have you decided to call it a day?
Well, because obviously after 42 years is a lifetime, no? I mean, 42 years. I remember that I started when I have 18 years. I was studying my university, the architecture, and I was combining the architect in the university with the races. And after that, a while, I decided to stop. When I was in the last course of architect, I don't have any more time to do both things at the same time. And I decided to continue racing because it's more passionate for me. I have more something that put me in a different way, no? And so excited when I race because I have a good results, and this is something that you never know until when it's going to do this, no? But when I see on back, there is 42 years. That, like I said to you, it's a lifetime, no? And I have 64 years right now, and I think it's time to stop, no? We achieved many things during all these years, and I'm on a time that I think to recap a little bit and to say, well, we have enough. We also, the class that we are, we did almost everything. We won the championship with the riders. We think we won also the teams championship, and we won the Moto E, the last three. We have 5 championships. We won the 3 of them, and I think they have not too much to achieve and a lot of work, and become more and more difficult to find the finance, to pay all the things, and become more and more difficult. I think there is not worth anymore to do all these things after so long. Now, it was young, will be different, but I'm already did a lot of things that I think it's time to make a step back or step aside and relax a little bit on my time, or using my life with my family also, because right now the championship become longer, 23 races become, very, very, very hard, and I think it's time to do it. I was already from the last 2 years thinking about that, and you never really have the time to do it, to take the decision, no? And this year was the time. I take a decision. If in July everything is not closed for next year, I will stop, and I did it.
You touched on your championship victories. You won races as a manager in 250, 500, Moto2 World Championship. You won a MotoGP races as well with the four-stroke bike. You won with Pol Espargaro that Moto2 Championship, Moto E World Championship 3 times. Was it better riding or managing?
It's better riding, always. Because when you are a racer or you are a rider, you have, in my personal view, you have your own decisions. You can decide everything, no? When you manage the team, you can do plenty of good things, but the final decisions always remain to the rider. That means the results depend on the rider. And if he advance this rider or stay behind him, or he win the race, or he make a mistake, or all these things, in the end of the day, it's out of your hands. It's out of your control. And I remember when I have my own team and I ride my bike, I decide, because I was team manager for my own team, and then I have full control of everything. I control the riding, I control if I win or if I overtake this rider or not, and I decide if I have this mechanic or another mechanic, or if I have a bigger team, or change the track, or take another engineer. No?
But nobody could tell you off.
Exactly. and then for me it was more exciting, and I have more the control of everything. Then the time I put one step back and I only do the manager, obviously it's something natural for me, because I already did when I was rider. That was in 1992 when we hired Alex Cribillet to substitute me in a 500 machine in Honda. Was nice because I have the knowledge and I know the sponsors and I control the situation. But I realized that I become more nervous because I am on the barrier, but I cannot take decisions, or if this rider do that, or crash or don't crash, or risk more or risk less, no? But I realized that it's the only thing I can do. And I try to, during all this year, try to do the best as possible, to give the riders the best option as possible to win races. That in the end of the day is my goal, no? And that's why I was in this career, because I like to win. I don't like to be there only to be. And if I'm not excited with option to win, I'm not happy, and I'm boring, no? And then I try to do, during all these 42 years, the best as possible, to have the best teams as possible, and try to win the match as possible. And that's why maintain me with the flame to continue doing, no? And that is the difference between being a manager or to be a rider, no?
And you won a race in that 92 season with Alex?
Yes.
So it all came very quickly.
Yeah. 91... The change from 91 to 92 was difficult, because I was racing in Honda factory in 500, and obviously our idea when we continue the team is to upload the Spanish rider to the bigger class, no? To try to help the Spanish rider to succeed in the MotoGP, no? In that moment is in the, I don't know the name. It was not MotoGP in that time. It's motorcycle or Grand Prix. Yeah, Grand Prix. And I remember that Cribillet was, for the majority of the 99% of the people, Cribillet was not enough ready to make the move to 500, because he was racing in 250. He was not successful. He was world champion in 125, but in 250 was not good results. But I just absolutely clear that he have the chance to do a good results in a 500 class, no? And then I remember that all the press in Spain go against us because we convinced Cribillet to make the move to 500 in our team, and all the people said that they have no sense to do that because the rider is not ready and blah blah blah, and we just make it. We are decided. And we have a very successful, because I think in the third or fourth race in Malaysia already go to the podium, and in Assen he win the first race. And obviously it was clear that we make a the right decision, no? And from that point we only concentrate in a MotoGP, 500 in that time, and try to do the best as possible, helping the Spanish rider until the year 2000. Because in the year 2000 we put already Cribillet in the factory Honda. Then we think that the Spanish riders is quite well developed already, and we can even more concentrate in do results more than to develop Spanish rider. And that is what we did until the year 2009, that we start with 250 again and MotoGP, but it's another story, a long story. It's 42 years, there is a lot of things to explain.
But bringing younger riders through was something that you did also with Carlos Checa. He came through 250, he nearly won that Catalonia Grand Prix in 95, but he won it in 96, and the king was there and everything was perfect.
Yes.
With the 500. So was that something that you felt quite strongly about, to bring the younger generation?
Yeah, that's our main goal in the beginning, no? Because obviously the people doesn't remember that because it's long time ago. But when I started racing in a World Championship in 1981, 82, Spain was nothing in motorcycle racing. We don't have circuits in Spain. We don't have sponsors. We don't have, the only we have is Ángel Nieto, that he won with Derby and that, but that was not so popular in Spain. People doesn't follow motorcycle racing in Spain because Nieto it's only racing in small classes and there is not so popular, no? And then when we move from the Spanish Championship, myself, to World Championship, was a kind of break situation, no? Because that's something absolutely unexpected for the community of motorcycle racing, no? Because nobody thinks in Spain that no team, no Spanish rider have the class or the capacity to do good results in the World Championship. And I remember with Antonio Cobas that he designed the Sirocco bike, and we built the team, and well, they built the team, and we start racing in Spanish races. And I remember the first time I go in the first race of the Spanish Championship, I have a long conversation with Antonio Cobas. I said, Antonio, there is no sense to race here in Spain. I mean, these circuits are so dangerous. We race against the streets, and the fans are just close to us when we go to 200 kilometers per hour. And I said, Antonio, I don't want to race anymore in Spain. I mean, this is so dangerous and it's ridiculous that you are designing so nice bike, waiting and looking for the weight and everything, and we're racing that you can race with a Bultaco, you can go the same faster than with a Sirocco, very special machine, no? Then from that moment, we decide just to race outside, no? And when we make this movement, everybody, all the racers, Spanish racers, you are crazy, why you're going to do the World Championship, you are not going to even to classify for racing. And then we are completely sure that this is what we want to do, and we take a ban in that time a Mercedes we're talking about the years 82, 83, and we go with a van, and we go. First time we arrive to Pol Ricard, it's a real circuit, no, something that you dream. No, oh, that's crazy. That's have sense to make this bike and to design this bike and everything to be in a circuit like that. No, and I remember the first time I go to Pol Ricard, that we in winter, that was I think in 1980, I think. First time we put there. We go faster like the guys who are in the World Championship. First time we put the bike on the Pol Ricard, I go to the bike, and after half a day we are going faster, like Patrick Fernandez, Balde, and all these guys that for us are some kind of kings, no? And it was clear for us that we have the capacity to do it, no? And we do it, and that we don't stop anymore to do that and try to. Then we won the first, we got the first podium in Finlandia in 1983 or 82, I think 82. And then we won the race in 84. We fight for the championship, and then we built something that Spain built with us. The fans of the base fans of the motorcycle come with a little bit with us, no following of results. And I remember when we raced in Spain, in Jarama, in the World Championship in 1984, was the king there. And was the king because we generate already in 82, 83 some kind of base, and the TV is already following us for the results that we are doing. And I won in 1994. My first win was in Jarama in 1994 with the king there. First time the king was in a race. And I won there, and from that point it's become amazing sport in Spain, following for everybody. And then we have the chance to get money, to get sponsors, to build something good, and then we develop. And now in Spain, motorcycle racing is one of the most followed sports. But this is something that we build step by step through the years, no? And looks like people the new fans or the young, even the young riders that are racing now, they was not born in that time, no? I mean, the Maverick Viñales or Alec Rins or these riders or Barbera that racing with us this year, they are not born to this. They don't know about this thing. They think that what we have now, it's always like that. But no, also later on become Dorna, and I get the rights of the organization with FIM, etc. And then now we have a real professional sport, and in Spain a very followed sport. And that's the story.
How good was Cobas?
Cobas is amazing. I think he's the best ever engineer that was. He always was in front of his own time, no? And he designed the Sirocco. Well, he designed many bikes, a lot of bikes, no? But I raced 3 of his bikes. The first race I rode with Sirocco Yamaha. No, I raced more. Then I raced Sirocco Rotax. And then he designed a Cobas. When we decided to move from Sirocco, we hired a Cobas, and we moved from Sirocco, and we built our own company, that is Cobas. And we go at 7th floor in an industrial building, in a 7th floor, and we start to design the Cobas there, in a 7th floor. And we welding, and we do the shaping of the fairing with and everything we built there. And this is the bike that I won the first Grand Prix, no? And he developed the monocoque, the first monocoque chassis, and he was so good guy, but also so advanced in his time, no? He always are in front of everybody, thinking with the evolution of the bike. And I remember that when in MotoGP we decided to go to 4 strokes, that in that time I was president of IRTA, and we discussed with Carmelo Speleta the option to go to 4 strokes, because I said, Carmelo, we need to go 4 strokes. 2 strokes are too old. There is no sense to continue with this technology. There don't exist anymore 2-stroke machine. And then we decide to go to 4 strokes, and then we have the option that every team can build up his own chassis. And I remember that Antonio Cobas, in that time, we have contact with Ilmore and Harley Davidson. And we designed our own bike for MotoGP with a monocoque, with fiber carbon monocoque. Everything was in place. And then the things doesn't go out because we don't find the enough finance to do that. But this is already in the year 2000. And the time we're living now for Antonio will be a dream for him, because that is what he always wanted, no? To concentrate, to design a frame, and to put all the innovations, the new materials and everything. Our bike is designed with a fiber carbon monocoque, with an automatic gearbox in the hand that you can change. That still doesn't exist. This in motorcycle.
Like a semi-auto.
Yeah, that you with your hand, like the cars, and everything was designed. This I'm talking in the year 2000, no? And build a bike like the engine is the auto portante, then you have the frame, the engines, and the swing arm. Everything is a piece, no? And this is the thing that he designed in the year 2000, and that's nice. But it's a pity he died very young with a cancer. I think he was 53 years old, too young, and a pity for all of us, and also not only for us because we are friends of him, but also for the industry of motorcycle, which was a big loss.
He was a very gentle man.
Yeah.
And I think it was Dennis Noyes who introduced me to him. And even though Antonio's English was not so good, it was good enough for me to go into the garage, because it was easier in the old days, as you know, for me to go into the garage on a Saturday night at maybe 7 o'clock, and he would be there with the computers and the data. And probably with your help, that you helped introduce me as well, we sat down and we'd have 5 or 10 minutes just talking about the weekend or the tyres or not the politics, but the technical, obviously, because he was there. And yes, we had a mutual respect for each other. I was a lot younger than him, still am, if you know what I mean. But it was a very gentle man.
But he have another important thing, that he is a very high qualified engineer, but also he is a very high qualified of everything. It's a guy that you can speak for whatever thing you want. He knows about the moon, about the stars, about everything. You can talk with him. He's a very well conversation. He have a nice conversation. He's relaxed, and everything he explained to you, it's have a lot of interest, no? And he's kind of guy that he get your attention when you talk with him, no? And that's why, because he is a very cool man, no? And he have a lot of wisdom.
You know we love talking stats here at The Athletic. Here's one that's super simple to remember. Discover automatically doubles the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cash Back Match. That means with Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. That's right, you could put it towards some memorabilia you've had your eye on, or treat yourself to a premium sports network. You earn, and Discover doubles. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
We'll get back to the pod in a moment, but first of all, let me tell you about Grammarly. Email, Google Docs, Slack, you write across multiple platforms and places during your workday, so delivering consistent, high-quality communication everywhere is key. Grammarly is an AI writing partner that helps you get work done faster with high-quality writing for better projects, proposals, presentations, and more. Best of all, Grammarly works where you work, so you can get more done no matter what tools you use. As a journalist and podcast host, I'm constantly writing and rewriting copy and drawing up scripts. It's part of the job, and Grammarly helps make it faster. It's got some really cool features like tone suggestions to help you strike the right balance between direct and friendly in work emails. Plus, Grammarly has a ton of other great features like advanced spelling, grammar, punctuation, and conciseness suggestions to ensure your writing is professional, mistake-free, and clear. Get AI writing support that works where you work. Sign up and download for free at grammarly.com/podcast. That's GRAMMARLY.com/podcast. Easier said, done.
You were 250 champion in 88, and then in 89 you won at Jarama again during those years. Were they the best times for you? The championship, you touched on it earlier. Riding was the best option. Was it? You won the Prince of Asturias award. I mean, that's you can't get any higher in Spain, can you?
Yeah, that's right. No, I mean, obviously for me, these times are maybe the more happy times of my life, no? Because obviously everything goes well for me, no? I mean, racing was as successful for me, I have a very good results. I control the situation. I control the races. I control the team. I'm a very well respected man in every area I go. In Spain, in motorcycle races, and everything was good. I sometimes I'm explained to some friends that people congratulate me in many times that I don't know for why they congratulate me. You know? And that is something that, hey, congratulations. Oh, I don't know why he congratulated me, but
they probably watched you, Sito.
Yeah.
They probably were in the grandstand at Jarama and they felt as if they were racing with you.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a poster of you in their house.
I so popular. I was so popular in Spain. Everybody knows me. You know, that's why of the reasons also I moved, because sometimes it's a little bit too much. No, and was a beautiful moment for me. You know, because it's when you are young, starting your adult life, and I was married, and everything was good. No. Obviously, then I have a very nice moments after that too, but there is not exactly the same. Also, well, you know, when you have a child, the things change. You know, also there is not exactly the same. I think maybe you have experience of that.
Yes.
And well, it's good, but it's different. But every part of your life have a very good moments and some down moments. No, but. Right, that's right. What's very nice moment for me in that time.
Alex Crivier, you mentioned him. I touched on Carlos Checa, Loris Capirossi, Alex Barros, Kaczynski, I think was with you, yeah. Max Biaggi, Troy Bayliss, Alex Rins, Pol Espargaro. They all came through.
Maverick Viñales,
forgive me.
Yeah.
Who was your best rider? Now, I know this is a question you will have been asked, but who was a rider that was maybe the most fun, or who was the most technical, or who stands out for you?
No, what I can tell you, it's which is my happy years when I was the team. And this was in 2001, 2002. Because we have a couple of riders, that is Alex Barros and Loris Capirossi. Both of them are very good persons and very fighting against each other, but the relationship between them with a lot of respect between one and another. We have a Honda, we win a lot this year. We win the team championships with them. I remember we have in the year 2000 we have the Emerson bikes.
Emerson Electronics.
Exactly. And then in the year 2001 and 2002, Wes is our sponsor, the tobacco, and it's exactly the same sponsor of Formula One McLaren have in that time. And these 3 years was amazing because we win races, we leading the races, we do podiums, we win races, and the relationship that we live in the team was super good, because between both of them they have a lot of respect, but a lot of sporting competitiveness, and was so good because we have a good sponsors that believe they do his job, and we are on top of the MotoGP in that moment, no? Because our team have the best hospitality. We win the team's championship with them, and everything was good in that moment. And obviously, these both riders are so good. But like you said, we have so many riders in 42 years. You can imagine, and to be honest, all of them are good because we never get a rider.
Yes.
We never get a rider that we don't believe in them, no? And
you wouldn't have hired a slow one.
Yeah, I know, and we have a quite good eyes to pick a riders, no? And after so many years, you know a little bit something about that, no? And when you decide this rider is because we don't make so much mistakes, no? And all of them have his skills, some good skills, no? And obviously, no one of them have a 10. No one of them is a 10. But they are close of 10, all of them. And obviously someone have good in some part, some other one have a weakness in another part, but all of them are good. I mean, starting for Crivier is very good. And then Checa also is very good, the Spanish ones, and then all the others are We have, I mean, Bayliss, Barros, Biaggi, Capirossi, all of them are good. We have Ukawa also. We have many riders, no? But it's difficult for me to choose one.
How did the West sponsorship come about? I mean, you've touched on it. It was just mega money. The tobacco money was always good for everybody, but that was a cool-looking bike. Everything was all going there. How did that deal come about? Did they come to you? You went to them? You had an English sponsorship guy, Malcolm
Sayer.
Sayer, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you friends with Ron Dennis?
To be honest, right now I need to think how this come, because, yeah. I mean, this come after Emerson. Emerson, it's a kind of a sponsor that is not a sponsor. It's a friend of mine. We don't have a sponsor in that time, no? And we're struggling a lot this year, no? Because we came from Movistar, was our sponsor the year before. And we lost Movistar because some kind of movements in Spain, we lost Movistar. And then we hired Barros and Capirossi because we was Borja and I think Borja and Barros with Movistar. And then we lost the sponsor. And then the year after we get Capirossi, and then we moved the couple Barros and Capirossi.
That Movistar livery, the colours on that dark blue movie, they were the best. I walked into your garage, Shah Alam, Malaysia, 97, which I think was the first year you had it, or maybe 98, I can't remember. And I went, that is a good-looking motorcycle. I know it's only paint, but that was the gold star,
exactly.
and it was very cool. But that's just a personal.
Well, Movistar, Telefonica was the first sponsorship agreement that they never did, with no any other sport.
See, you convinced all these people.
Yeah, I mean, Movistar. I have a meeting with the president of Telefonica, and he convinced to be with us, and his first ever sponsor that they never did, the first sponsor that they did with us, and we make so much presentation in Montjuic with so many people, with the president of the Telefonica, and this is amazing, no? And we have, I mean, with them 3 years, or 97, 98, and 99, 3 years with them, and then. After this, we go to Emerson. We get with no sponsor, and then we need to put. I don't want to have the bike without the sponsor.
No. You can't have a white bike.
Then I have one of my family have this company that's an importation electronics, TVs and all that. And I said, hey, if you want, we can put Emerson on the bike. I said, okay, well, obviously perfect, and we did, no. But the year was amazing. We do so much good results, and everything was perfect. And then we contact with West. I remember very well now. We have one guy who lives in Monaco, and he called me and he said he want to help me to find sponsors. And then this guy, I don't know why, he have a contact with these people, with Emerson. And then he called them and I said...
With West?
With Resma is the company, the German company.
Resma.
Resma.
That's right.
And then he said to me, I have the telephone of this guy, maybe you can go to see them. And then he sent me the telephone. And then I went to Hamburgo, where is the base of Resma. And I meet with the director of marketing, and I expose all our project and all the results that we did and everything. And I convinced them. And the first year was a very good deal for them because it was cheap, because obviously we don't have any sponsor. But then the second year became more expensive because the results was, and then we have 2000, 2001, 2002. We do 3 years with them. No, sorry, 2 years. 2001, 2002. Yeah, because 2003 we go with Camel. And then it was 2 years with West, because 2000 was Emerson. 2001, 2000, yes. And was such good company. I mean, they are so proud, they are so happy. They said to me, it's amazing what we are doing in the MotoGP. They enjoy so much because they really enjoy. And they make me the comparison in that moment, in that time. They said me, hey, we are so much proud here that in Formula One, they tell me. Because in Formula One, we are nobody. They said me, they are nobody themselves, personal, not the company. The company, it's a lot because it's McLaren, it's beautiful. But there are some, like a guest in the team. In our team, they are not a guest. They are there. They feel proud. They feel that they can do many things with the riders, with everything. They can do a lot of marketing things, and the results was good. And also, I remember that time in McLaren was not so good years. I don't remember very well, but in the end of the day, what's happened is in 2002, Resma sold the company to Imperial Tobacco, to UK company. UK company brought the Resma. And the instruction was, anything that is not signed, you cannot sign anymore. And then I have a lunch in Bulli, restaurant Bulli, the best restaurant in the world in Rosas. I go with the director of marketing and commercial director, and that's very nice because we went there with a helicopter with Ellie. We go there to take a lunch and to take a dinner and everything, to talk about next year, 2003, because the result was amazing. Everybody is so happy. And then they told me, Sito, sorry, but we cannot continue. It's something that is like a joke, no? When they told me, I think they are joking, no? You're joking, no? No, these things happen like this. And they explained me the situation, and I said, okay, and then we need to find another sponsor. And then it's good because these very intimate things that I'm going to explain to you, internal things that nobody knows, But right now I think I can explain because
it's 20 years.
It's 20 years, and they said to me, sorry, but we cannot continue because Resma sell to Imperial Tobacco, the company. We have to sign. McLaren contract is signed, but your contract is not signed, and then we cannot renovate and send. No? And then we are working, and then we find Camel, and we start to discussion with Camel, and obviously we don't sign the contract with Camel. Then after 2 months, Resma called me again, Imperial Tobacco, the director of marketing.
Camel was still RJ Reynolds, were they?
Yes, yeah. It's Japan Tobacco.
Japan Tobacco. Sorry.
Japan Tobacco. And then they called me. And I said, Sito, we managed to convince the direction to go with you the next year. And then I said, but we only can arrive to this amount of money. And I said, hey, right now I'm going to close with Camel, and this is not amount. This is the amount that really I need. And then it was a pity because we cannot continue. We go with Wes, I with Camel, and not with Wes. But was nice for me that they do the effort to convince the Imperial Tobacco because they really believe in what we are doing, and the results they are getting was really good, no? And they make an effort to do that, no? And for me, it's kind of satisfaction, no? That thing that at least the thing we are doing are good, no? And then we moved to Camel.
Can I just stop you there before we leave the West thing?
Yes.
Just a couple of questions. When 500 went from 500cc to 4-stroke at the beginning of 2002, was it a worry for the team managers that, I'm going to have to find extra budget, the budget will be crazy money because it's 4-stroke and it's so complicated from the manufacturers? Was that really a thing? Or did the manufacturers help the teams out when you got the 4-stroke bike, which I will come to later at Motegi?
No,
which is a separate question.
Okay, because I'm going to explain this.
Okay, let me jump in. That was the best weekend, one of the best weekends in that 5 years of 990. Alex Barros, he gets a V5 Honda 4-stroke, an RC211V on a Friday morning
in Motegi.
And he won the race on Sunday afternoon. That will never happen again.
Yeah, it was amazing.
He's smiling, folks. Yeah. Look at his face. Yeah. He's really smiling.
It was amazing because, I was the man who pushed for the 4-strokes. I was the man who convinced Carmelo and Dorna to go to 4-strokes. But I was the damaged team, because in reality, the first team who get the 4-stroke was the factory teams, not the satellite teams. And because we are doing so good with for a 2 strokes, fighting against the 4 strokes, I remember Repsol team have a 4-stroke with Valentino Rossi, and we are going with the West bikes in the 500, on the 500 NSR. And we're fighting sometime. I remember in Mugello, Rossi went and we make second and third with the 500, with Capirossi and Barros in the podium, with Rossi with the 4 strokes. No? And Honda is so happy that they tell us, for the last 3 races, or 4 races, I don't remember, it was 4 races. For the last 4 races, they're going to give us 1 4-stroke bike. But the complicated situation for us in that moment is we know already that Wes is not going to continue with us. And we cannot renovate the riders because we are not certain that we are going to have money for the next year. Then we need to choose which rider we are going to drive the bike. And the situation is, because both of riders know that I cannot renovate them because we are not sure if we are going to have the money for next year or not, Capirossi signed with Ducati, for Ducati. And then, obviously, when Capirossi already signed for Ducati, we need to give the bike to Barros because Capirossi is going to go with the concurrence the year after with Ducati. And then we need to decide to get the bike to Alex Barros because Honda told, give me the bike, and I need to decide.
It was your choice.
It's my choice with rider, no? And then
they wouldn't do that now.
And then in that situation, I remember a conversation with Capirossi crying because he is not the one who is going to get the on the 4 strokes, no? And we both crying in the track because I said, Loris, I'm sorry, but I cannot give you the bike to you. You have already a contract with Ducati, and Barros is still free. I don't know if Barros is going to race with me next year because, but the situation, the very crucial and difficult situation, and in that moment we don't have any sponsor for the year after. And then we give the bike to Barros, and in the 4 races that we have, starting for Motegi, that we get the Barros, I remember the Antonio Covas get the bike first time in Friday morning or Thursday morning, and we inspect the bike, we put the bike, we work with the bike for Barros, and in the Friday first time Barros go, and we win the race. We win the race, but we win also the next one and the next one. I mean,
you won Valencia, last lap.
We won Valencia, and I think I don't know what we did in Australia and the other one, and in Malaysia. But I don't know if we win with second or third. We
won 2 of the 4. Two of the 4,
but the other 2 is in the podium also.
Yeah.
And it was amazing, no? And that's the time when we are dealing with Camel and West, and all this happened, I explained to you before, was in that moment, no? But there is not decided, and then still are not decided. We finish the season and still we don't have a sponsor. And then we have an agreement with Honda. They say, because you don't have a sponsor, I'm going to give you Ukawa for next year. I'm going to help you with Ukawa rider. And then Ukawa,
so he was free.
Exactly. Come Ukawa with his bike, and he come, and we're going to manage him and ride him. And we have an agreement with Pramac in that moment because Pramac have a contract with Max Biaggi. Pramac doesn't have any team. Pramac there is no in the championship, but he have a contract with Max Biaggi. That's a very complicated situation, no? That's for 2003. And then Pramac have a contract with Biaggi, but he doesn't have any team. And then I have a meeting with Pramac and I said, let's go. You put Biaggi in our team, we run Biaggi, and then I need to find the money. If I don't find the money, Pramac, you are going to pay the part of Biaggi team. Can we have a deal? And then 1 month later, I find Camel. And then I find the money to run the team, to pay Biaggi and to do everything. And that's why my team is called Camel Pramac Pons, because Pramac doesn't give any money there, but he have in the team
the deal.
The deal, and he have there, and what's good, but not so good, because if we have this decision 3 months early, we can continue with Honda factory with 4-stroke with Barros and Biaggi. That will be amazing. But
and
then,
maybe West. And with West, maybe.
Maybe West.
But who knows?
This must be even earlier. But this is the life of a team manager. That is, you're playing with different cars, with many cars, in many times, many things in the same time, trying to organize everything. No? Meeting in Hamburg, meeting in Switzerland with Camel people from Japan Tobacco, doing all these things. Japan talking with bikes. Everything is amazing all the time. No? Trying to organize everything. No? But that's something that maintains you alive, no? But obviously there is a lot of risk. This is what happened when in 2005 we need to stop. I don't know if you remember, but in 2005 we need to stop because there's a long story behind that also I can explain to you. But there is a long story, a tricky story why we do that. No? But I explain to you when we arrive to this time if you want.
Well, no, let's maybe leave that to part two. But, but when did you sign Casey Stoner? Was that for 2006 or for 2007? Wasn't there something?
No, for 2006.
So his first year.
Yeah. That's the moment that this happened.
Oh, okay, right.
That's the moment.
The short story of signing Casey Stoner in MotoGP is?
The short story, well, it's not short, it's long, but I'm going to resume a little bit. The short story is that we lost Camel because Camel is in love with Max Biaggi. And Camel won Max Biaggi. Yes or yes. If you have Max Biaggi, we go with you. If we don't have Max Biaggi, we don't continue with you. But Honda was no, Max Biaggi, no, because he have a year with Honda factory. And he put his bike on the box in Hungary, I think. And he drove the bike on the box saying this shit bike. And then
there was a fallout.
And then Honda veto Max Biaggi. Veto. He doesn't want Max Biaggi ever more. And Camel won Max Biaggi. Then we're in the middle of this sandwich, no? Camel won Max Biaggi, and Honda doesn't want Max Biaggi. Then we're in the middle, try to convince both of them that, okay, let's go, let's do another year with Max Biaggi because Camel is the sponsor, won Max Biaggi. And Honda is the ones who supply and manufacture the bikes and doesn't want to Max Biaggi on the team. Then we're in the middle and we're going to lose the sponsor. And in the end of the day, we lost the sponsor because we don't have the chance to do Max Biaggi because Camel said, if you don't have Max Biaggi, sorry, we don't put the money. And then Camel moved to Yamaha with Valentino Rossi, and we remained with no sponsor. And then we contract Casey Stoner and Carlos Checa. But what's happened that we go to Malaysia to do the test with no sponsor, with Carlos Checa and Max Biaggi, hoping that Camel will continue with us. But in Christmas, I remember in Christmas, or I don't know if it was Christmas or is in the end of the year, in the first of the year, Honda made me a date limit, said, if you don't confirm the bikes right now, we're going to take out the bikes because we don't have this money in that moment. And that moment, the bikes cost a fortune. And in that moment, we don't have any sponsor, and we need to say, okay, we don't have the money. If you don't have more time to wait us, we cannot guarantee the bikes. And then Honda doesn't want to give me more time. Camel sent me an official letter saying, Sito, sorry, we are not going to because Max Biaggi is not there. And then we have the obligation to cancel the contract of Casey Stoner and Carlos Checa. That's why Carlos Checa, I think, went with Poncharal, and Casey Stoner goes to Cecchinello, and we stop because we don't have, in that moment, it's a lot of money, and we don't have any sponsor. Camel was 80% of the budget or 85% of the budget is covered by Camel, and in that moment there is not Dorna helping like right now. We need to pay almost 95% of the budget. We need to cover the team from our resources. And obviously, we lost almost 85% of the resources. That is a big amount of money, and we cannot guarantee this money in that moment, no? And then we stop. And from one day to another, we remain without team. That's when Ramon Forcada went to Yamaha, I think. My techniques go around, and Ramon Aurín go to Honda. I mean, all the teams split with the factory teams. and we stopped. That is we have a gap of 2 years. That is in 2006 and 2007. We was not in the World Championship, and then in 2008 we returned to MotoGP with helping a team in 125 World Racing Bike. We helped with our instructor to this team, because in these 2 years I do a team in Spanish Championship for Axel, my son, race there, and then we organize the team that we pay for him to race, and then in 2009 we come back like Pons Racing again in 250. That was the last year in 250 that we won the last race in Jarama with Hector Barbera.
Valencia.
In Valencia with Hector Barbera. It was the last race ever in 250 that we raced and we won. And this is like a new chapter of Pons Racing, because we stopped MotoGP and we go to Moto2 with the new rules and everything. That is something good, because then when we start working with Kalex, and with the first time Kalex do a bike for a MotoGP, we convince Kalex, we have an agreement, no one wants to go with Kalex, not any team, and then we won.
Times change.
Yeah, and we won with Santi Mulero, because Antonio Covas was not there anymore. And then I remember with Santi Mulero we went to Suter, we went to FPS, I think, and we go to Kalex to check which is the engineer more capable to do the bike. And we meet in Munich with Kalex, and we meet with Alex, and we meet with Klaus and with Gunther, his partner. And after our meeting, it's clear for us that Kalex are the capability and the knowledge to do the best bike. And we make an agreement with them. And we are the first and the only team to race with Kalex in 2010. And obviously, again, we don't make a mistake, because like you can see, Kalex is like a monopoly right now, no? And this is the second chapter of our history, no?
Oh, it's, yeah, you take leaps of faith with the young riders, with Kalex, and your son was racing, and you and I, you won't remember this, you and I were stood in the pit lane at Jerez. I love Jerez, and I'm sure you do.
Yes, of course.
It's early May, Jerez. Is there a better place in the world? There's not very many good places like that. And your son was racing, and you came up to me and you squeezed my arm and you said, "Now I know what my parents felt like. My son is out there." And you were not yourself. You were a little bit foot to foot. You were a little bit quiet. I could see your hands in your pockets. You're a little bit nervous. But I'll never forget that. And I always remember it. Now I'm a father. Now I know what I put my parents through.
Now you know what I mean.
I learned it from you. Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Do you enjoy watching the modern MotoGP just as a fan of the sport? Do you watch those races and you're glued to the television like I was with the commentary, or you're a bit different now?
Well, to be honest, MotoGP right now, for me, lost a little bit of, I don't know how I can explain that, but for me, the actual MotoGP lost a little bit the glamour the 500 have. The glamour means about technical and about risk. Because right now, if you see a MotoGP race, it's nice, because are very close races. But in the end of the day, I lost the part of the risk that you can feel when you see the 500 class. There is very safe bike right now. almost never crash, no one. Or if crash, it's a simple crash like that. But I remember in 500 how they slide the bike, how the risky is this. I mean, this kind of skill of the rider in 500, it's something that it's more visual. You can feel it more. Right now, it's very difficult to see the difference between one and another because the bike helped you a lot with the traction control, with the bikes are so good. And yeah, I mean, I think it's better than ever right now in the level of competitiveness between all of them because they are so close and it's make the races very interesting, no? But I miss a little bit the times when you feel the fighting between the rider and the bike. Now there is no this fight anymore. You cannot see it. You cannot feel it. And in our times when you see Duhan or Lawson or Rainey or Swans in the bikes, fighting with the bike and so on, it's a little bit different, no? But obviously right now the MotoGP is the best moment than ever because the notoriety, the half the sport, it's very good. Even so, the situation of the competitiveness with another sports, with another events, become very, very complicated for us, no? Because in our times, maybe 10 years ago, I don't remember exactly when this happened right now, when they closed the TV in a pay-per-view, this make a lot of difficult for us, no?
Well, one of the sponsors of Aspar, they said, no problem, we pay you 40% less money because we have 40% less people watching on the television.
We have much less than 40%.
Or whatever the numbers were.
Yes.
Yeah. And so there was Aspar going, okay, you know.
No, I mean, this is the situation.
But the money comes in another way from Dorna, from the TV money.
Well, in MotoGP.
Okay.
Yeah, in MotoGP, I'm agree, but not in the other classes. And then the situation right now, we face a situation that our sport, even to be better than ever in the level of technology and professionalism and everything, and TV image and everything, we are not better than ever. We are, in the contrary, in the notoriety against two other sports. Because obviously, the fans base of our sport become old and old. Because younger people have plenty of other activities or other things to make themselves distract with another things. That means that to build a young generation to love motorcycles, we are losing this time because the people who really follow the bikes are the people that become fan 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. That means right now is that people who really pay to see the races in pay-per-view. But the young people doesn't pay now for no one, no thing. No, they don't want to pay. They have Instagram, they take Twitter, they don't stay in front of TV. And we need to do something to recover these young people to follow sport. Because the sport have the attraction. We have the skills and the attraction to get again the young people to follow these races. But they need to see. They need to become and sit in front of the TV to see. But because we need to pay, people doesn't sit in front of the TV. And then we are reducing the capacity of our fans, become old, and we need to do something to put in front of these young people these races.
But you've known Carmelo for 40 years.
Yeah.
You must have had this conversation with him 40 times.
No.
You haven't?
No.
Okay.
But it's a common sense. I think it's not so difficult to understand that. For me, from my point of view, it's clear. I mean, I remember when I race and I arrive in Barcelona and I take the taxi. The taxi drivers know me. Very good this weekend in the race. People know. We are in the street. People know what we are doing because it's in TV. And people see the TV. Even if you don't want, people, the bikes are there. And you are so popular. Now, Joan Mir is world champion in MotoGP.
Nobody knows.
Exactly.
Nobody knows. It's
And
crying
this-
shame.
And
Yeah.
this is that's the
Yeah.
real thing. And it's only you only need to see to see what's happened, why this happened.
Yeah.
Because we are closed in a box.
Yeah.
And who have the key of the box? Only the real fans. And the real fans know Joan Mir, obviously, because they only not see for the race. They see Friday, Saturday, Sunday, full.
Yeah.
That night we have the coverage that we have ever, better than ever. But it's close. That's mean, one of the conversations I have with Carlos Espineta, I said, Carlos, we need to do at least the sprint race open. Because if we do sprint race open, at least people can say, oh, this is nice. Oh, if you want to see the race, you need to pay for Sunday. Oh, okay, I will pay because I want to see the race. This is amazing.
And the sprint race is exciting. Whoa,
Exactly.
man alive.
Then, but if you're still doing the sprint race, but in the same box that it's closed, you're not winning so much in the end of the day.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more interesting, but who is looking this sprint race? The same people that see the Sunday race. And then, in the end of the day, we have amazing sport, so beautiful one, so investment in technology, blah, 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 perfect image, perfect, but we are close. There is many other things that are beating us in that situation. That's why we need to do a big effort to do that, because if we want to put our motorcycle sport in the level that we was 10 or 15 years ago, we need to do an effort in this point.
Jorge Martin, is he a world champion in MotoGP? I think I know the answer to that question. Do you think he can do it?
Yeah, of course.
Because
he's not for the moment.
No.
But he can do it.
he will.
Yeah.
What do you like his riding style? Do you like him? Do you like his style? What's your opinion of Jorge Martin?
I think he's very fast, obviously. I think he has the skill to be world champion, but I think he needs to have a step more of maturation.
Moderation.
Mature.
A mature. Okay.
And I think, in the end of the day, to be world champion is not necessary to be the faster. It's necessary to be the clever. And the clever means do the right thing in every moment you need it, not when you don't need it. That means that Jorge Martin is the faster. That's for the moment, that's what's looking like that. But sometimes make mistakes that he doesn't need to do it. And this is mature. And it is clever. This is wisdom. And this is what he needs to learn. Because in the end of the day, why Bagnaia wants? Because he used in a better way his skills. And this is not new. This is always the same. I mean, the real champions is the combination of skill, speed, and intelligence. And I think Jorge Martin needs a little bit of mature to use his skill in the right moment in any time is necessary. Because I explained to my riders sometime, he said, you need to do the thing when it's needed to do it, not when it's not needed. I mean, you don't need to fight to be the faster in free practice. This is no meaning. It's better to use the free practice to make the best bike as possible for Sunday when the points there. And then sometimes you lose the goal, you lose the goal, no? And then which is your goal? Your goal is to be world champion. Then you need to work to be world champion. And sometimes you need to be 3 or 4 in free practice because it doesn't matter. But these 3 or 4 give you the opportunity to test maybe something for Sunday, be a little bit better and win the race. This is one point. And another point is how you handle the race, how you manage the race. That's very important. When you are in the race, you need to control the race. You not only need to go fast, you need to control the race. That means we are in the first lap, we are in the 15th lap, this rider is fast, this guy is slow, I can overtake here, I can overtake there. You need to control everything. And when you control everything is when you control the race and when you can win. Obviously, Mike Doohan, Roberts, all the riders that become world champion, Rossi, all of these riders have all these skills. And these young riders, that it's plenty, that are faster, But there are so many young sometimes, and need to, in the end of the day, who is the world champion, who have all these kind of things controlled. No?
I'll never forget when Valentino won that Phillip Island race by 15 seconds because he overtook, I think, Max under yellow flags or whatever. And he said in the press conference afterwards with me and Julian, he said, oh, but today's the first time I had to go 100%. And I said, you bastard. You were doing all those other races by not going 100%. Yeah. Well, I needed to win by more than 10 seconds. And I went, that was a window. That was a vision into the window of a rider's mind.
Exactly.
He didn't need to win by 15 seconds every week. But he only needed to win by 3.
He never need to win for 15 seconds. You only need to think for half second is enough.
You only need to lead on 1 lap.
Exactly. And then all these points are important. Angel Nieto is a master of that. Yeah. I mean, Angel Nieto did whatever is necessary in the moment that is necessary. And this is an important thing to be world champion. Mm-hmm. And also you need to see there is 21 races. I mean, all these must be in the brain of the rider. Everything needs to be there. It's like a puzzle. And you need to build all these things inside of your head. What you need to do, what this rider do, and when you organize everything is when the results come. And when you become world champion.
Marc Marquez on a Ducati, on the Gresini bike. Do you have a doubt it might not work, a bit like a Schumacher returning to Mercedes, or do you think he will be fine? What's your opinion about Marc next year? Well,
for me, I mean, I can understand what Marquez did. I think I think I will not do that.
Leave Honda?
Yeah. But maybe I make a mistake. Maybe he was right to do this. But my opinion is...
But it just wasn't working, Sito. It wasn't working.
Yeah, I understand that. By my character, the way I was built up, it's one of the skills or the important thing for me is loyalty. And then, obviously, when you race with Honda so many years, you win so many times, and when you have 3 years that you almost don't race, and you know that the bike is not good, partly, I'm sorry to say, but partly because Marquez doesn't race.
It's cyclical.
Yeah, and then you cannot put all the blame in the other side when you have a big part of the blame. Because obviously, if you don't race, if you don't have the chance to race, the other manufacturers, they are full capacity, they are racing, they are improving the bike, they have his own riders full capacity. You are in bed, or you are in, because you crash, you have a bad luck. But this bad luck affects all the project. And then, because you don't have the best bike, then I want to leave. Okay, he did it, he did. Now it's different. Now the decision is taken. He is with a Ducati, and well, we have another Ducati there fighting for win a championship. There will be 7 Ducatis fighting for win. That, from my point of view, the only interesting thing now is to see if Marquez can win with this Ducati. But it's going to be one Ducati rider who will to be world champion for sure, 100%. Then the only interesting. Okay, now I mean. The thing is, the interesting thing is, well, can Marquez win with this second level Ducati? My answer is yes, of course, because they are already Mr. Di Gian Antonio with a second level Ducati. It's already winning, almost winning. Obviously, Marc Marquez is going to win because there is not so much difference between the 1 year or the second year. Then, of course, we can win.
Just listening to your words about Marc, about him crashing and in the hospital bed, do you think he crashed too much? Do you think he pushed too much? Do you think he was too much of a Gilles Villeneuve, I would say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Marquez always go to the edge. Always. And sometimes it's not necessary to go to the edge, like we talked before. No, but even so, Marquez managed to win I don't know how many world championships. Yeah. Amazing, no? He is one of the best ever rider in history. But when you win so many times, when you have all the manufacturer on the working for you, and you say goodbye, I'm going to another because you don't have the bike. For me, it's like kind of, well, they pay you all the money during 3 years that you are not racing. Then for me, it's a little bit. What even so to say? Could be interesting to say, okay, Mark, go to put everything on Honda if Honda really wants to do it. Why this is not even interesting project to do the Honda and win with Honda again? Because in reality, there is not so far away. If you see, in the last races, there is maybe they are not winning, but then there is not so far away. And in the end of the day, why not? Okay. I understand the position of the rider. He wants to win, and he thinks he cannot win with his bike, and he thinks even to do a big effort, because he make a big effort. He renounced a lot of money, a lot of, and this also he merits him because he is more to win than ever. Other thing, it's more important for him, and that's a good point, because obviously he renounced all these things, but. There is these 2 points of view, no? The level of personal loyalty and on the level of sporting side only, no? Sporting side only, okay, maybe you have the chance, but let's see.
Let's see. It'll be an interesting one. It was kind of telling the way that he left the garage, and there were a lot of tears. Of course. I've never seen a rider leave a garage like that before. Normally, I signed a deal in Brno in August to ride for another team, and that's it, and then they finished the season. But it was as if he didn't want to leave.
But it's his family. I mean, it's normal. It's his family. He worked with them for I don't know how many years.
2013, first race, yeah, in MotoGP.
Well, it's 10 years. Yeah. It's 10 years or 11 years working with them. It's his family. And then it's normal. He have a lot of relationship with all these people working there, no? But also, from my point of view, the way it's handled by Honda, I think, is wrong. I mean, the way he handling, and they put it in a very bad situation, Honda, doing all these things, because in the end of the day, they remain without rider in the end of the championship, and they need to take a decision much earlier, and to force to say, okay, Mark, if you don't want to be with us, take the decision in July or in June, and then we have time to do another things. But giving him the chance until the last minute, put a big Honda manufacturer in a situation that is not good. Yeah. And then the way it's handled, I think, is wrong.
We could go on. Maybe we do another one another day. Maybe let's do that. Sito, you were one of the most welcoming team managers that were up and down the pit lane for me as a young 23-year-old guy who went to these Grand Prix all over the world. I was with Dennis for 4 years in the commentary box, but you were one of the most welcoming team managers. So
thank you.
Thank you very much for just guiding me in the right direction as this guy who came from cars. And here we are 20-something years later, still talking about motorcycles. It's been a pleasure. Do go to more Grand Prix now and again. Don't go to all of them, but just go to some Grand Prix now and again. And you never know, if you're walking around the streets of London, maybe you'll see Sito Pons. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you.
What a humble man and a wonderful chat at Sito's home in London. He's worked hard throughout his time in the paddock, on the bike and in the garage, and very much has an opinion about some things that still bear a great deal of weight for MotoGP today in the modern era. Thank you for listening. I'll have another Toby Talks 2 very soon. In the meantime, thank you for listening, everybody. Goodbye for now.
The Athletic.